So I thought I'd go ahead and do an update video on my AKM because I changed quite a few things up on it. I didn't care much for the wood furniture. I decided to go with some Magpul because, I mean, it's pretty affordable, it's very nice and reliable, and it's just great quality products. But not really sure what to start, so I'll just start with some of the modifications I did to the gun itself. I'm sure someone's going to ask. I've been using these KCI magazines. They're made in South Korea. They're some of the cheapest steel mags out there because I don't like polymer, especially for AKMs, because you've got these locking lugs on there and you want that steel. I had to do quite a bit of work to these. I had to file and fit them to the gun so that they fit in nice and neat. But they don't wobble side to side too much. They've got pretty much no play forwards and backwards, which is pretty nice. Doesn't really matter too much on an AK, but one thing I did have an issue with these was the follower. I don't know if it was the follower, or if it was the rim on the cartridges, or the nose, or what. But I could get about 10 rounds in them, and then they would bind up. And I had to really force rounds into them. The more I've loaded them and unloaded them and everything, it seemed like they're breaking in pretty decently. But I would definitely keep that in mind if you buy them. I bought 8 of them, and they seem to be working okay now. Got a Dremel marked them as soon as the number 5. I won't get my lamp over here so y'all can actually see. There we are. You can see stuff now. But anyway, now I went with the Magpul Mo 4-end, and I can't remember the exact model of the grip I used. It's the rubber overmolded one. I love it. But I love them. They're great. Don't get too hot. There's a steel heat shield in the bottom of this, so it's nice and comfortable. You've got your M-lock slots on the bottom and both sides. My spoon brake on it, I guess it was done at the factory, but the notch that they ground in there for the retaining pin was a little big, so I just went ahead and leveled the spoon out. I know it's supposed to be rotated over at an angle, but that's for fully automatic fire. This isn't fully automatic, it's semi-auto, so doesn't really matter too much for me, but it's still just a little loose. I plan on swapping that out with probably a J-Mac brake or something like that. I don't know. Strike Industries made some nice ones that aren't too expensive. I kept my stock on there, the polished hand tool folding stock. I mean, it's a steel wire folder crutch stock. You can never go wrong with them. I didn't care too much for the sling swivel right here because I like my 2-point slings up at the shoulder right there. So I put a bolt in it right there through the holes where that pin went that held that rubber piece. I didn't care about because it lands perfectly on that rivet right there when it's folded, so it's just gonna scratch up that rivet, and I don't really care about that. I plan on getting this Cerakoted one of these days anyways, or Duracoated or something. But got a paracord loop on there with some Magpul quick connect clips on there with a Blackhawk sling. I put some elastic bands on it to keep it where I want it on both sides. Got one of the M-lock sling mounts right there, again Magpul. But internally I haven't really done anything too much. I don't know how well y'all are going to be able to see this. I got a Dremel and polished the hammer. Yeah, y'all can see that. Went ahead, here we are, and I polished the top of the hammer real good. And I ever so slightly, there goes my bolt, polished the bottom of the bolt carrier so that would be nice and rounded on both ends, and then I polished it, ground it, but made it nice and even on both ends so it rides across that hammer real nice and smooth. I forgot to clear this on camera. Someone's going to get me for that probably. But other than the dust cover rattling around a lot because it's a washer, it's really smooth. I mean, you can hear it. And it will not hang up on that hammer, even if you try. I mean, you can feel it, but it won't catch anymore. It used to. You pull it back slowly, and it'd catch right there every time. And sitting there trying to get it to catch, it just will not do it. I did that. I'd had a little metal L bracket I'd made and bolted into the safety, but I didn't care much for that. I don't know what's wrong with my safety. It was real tight around here, around the pin where it goes into the receiver. I filed it down ever so slightly, polished it. That seemed to help, but I flexed the safety out. It's got just enough resistance on there to where it clicks in positively, but it won't come undone. But I found I prefer just doing that anyways, because whenever I've got the bolt locked back, it takes a crap ton of force right here because you're right above the bolt handle, so I'd prefer to come out here and drop the bolt anywho. I cut that slide out with a Dremel. I'd had another a cylindrical lever right there to be able to put my trigger finger sweep down. I didn't care for that either, so there's a bunch of holes in there. I was just experimenting with this one anyways. I planned on replacing that with a Krebs Custom whenever I feel like spending $60 on a safety selector. But for now, it does what I need it to. It locks the gun up. I mean, it works great. Oh yeah, another thing. I polished the trigger internals. I mean, it's still an AK trigger, but it's smooth, at least. I mean, it came with a Tapco trigger when I got it, but it was decent. But after taking that Dremel to there, it seems like it breaks just a touch sooner, and it's smooth as glass. I mean, it's like a Henry rifle, and I dare say that. It's really nice. But there was that. So far, that's about it. I need to work on the pin right here for the magazine latch because it likes to walk out a little bit. In fact, it's doing that right now. The rivet just wasn't quite long enough, but these old washers have itty bitty little mag levers, so I'll probably see if I can get one from a Century Arms with an extended paddle on there I can throw on there and fit and adjust and everything. Other than that, haven't really done anything. I've got plans again whenever I feel like parting with the money, because they're not cheap. I plan on putting a Surefire Scout light right here with either a pressure pad right here, or I'll put a vertical grip back on it and put the pressure pad right here. I'm still kind of trying to decide, because I had a Magpul vertical grip on it right there, but with the 7.62, the mag would only rotate out to about here, and then you have to drop it down. I prefer dropping them and rocking them a little more. And whenever I come in pretty much vertical. But naturally, that kind of got in the way a bit. Other than that, everything was the way I got it. Bought this at a gun show during COVID like an idiot and way overpaid. It's pretty much irrelevant, but I bought the Tantal stock from Apex Gun Parts, and I looked for 3 days for one online. That was the only one I found that wasn't like a couple $100 and stupid overpriced. When I got it in the mail, it was missing the pin for the hinge, so I got a roll pin from the local hardware store for 50 cents and just hammered that in there. It gives it just enough resistance though to where it's nice and easy to move, but it won't flop around, and when it's folded it stays put, but it's a piece of cake to unlock and everything. It doesn't bind up. Nice, compact, I like it. It's not a very large gun, but the 2-point sling I wanted to point out. I've got adjusted to where the stock rests about right at my pec, so when I raise the rifle, take a step back, I still have plenty of room, so if I'm wearing a thick coat, plate carrier, whatever, or a backpack with a thick strap, whatever, I can still throw it on real quick and go into firing. But I like it. Doesn't get hung up too bad. I've still got the sling loop right here, and that's one of the things I love about these quick connect clips is once you unlock them, if you want to, you can clip it right back into there in its original spot if you want, which I don't care much for. I prefer the paracord because it lets it hang down instead of getting bound up right here and sticking up like that, blocking the sights or whatever. But anyways, that's what all I've done with my rifle. I been wanting to make this video for a couple days now and just didn't feel like it, and finally got off my dead butt and decided to do it. I mean, clearly it's a lazy day. I'm in shorts and a sweatshirt, so if that says anything. Anyways, same thing as always. Y'all be safe, take care, don't do anything stupid without me, because I want to watch. But another thing I wanted to point out was thank you all for over 200 subscribers. I wouldn't have thought I'd get that in a lifetime. I plan on making some more shooting videos. I know my first video with the bump fire was real popular, and unfortunately I've moved to Montana from Arkansas, so I don't have that 6 acres anymore. I've got a 4-car parking lot in my front yard now, and they frown upon me going out there and shooting for whatever reason. Don't like guns being shot in the city. Weird, huh? So still looking for a truck. Sold another one to get up here because it wasn't going to make it. So once I get a truck, I plan on going back and forth to the range quite a bit. I'll see if I can find one that's outside so I can make some decent videos, hopefully. I might get lucky, find a buddy who's got some land, who knows. But y'all hang in there and be patient. I plan on making some shooting videos here after a while. I've got a few other guns I hadn't shot in forever. Got one I haven't shot, period. Got some other ones I plan on buying here pretty soon. But anyways, y'all take care and be safe. Have a good one.